everyone, welcome to the poster presentation video on my field practicum conducted July and August of 2020. I, along with two other U.S. students, worked virtually with Polk County Waste and Recycling Division on measuring and improving the efficiency of their online service request system. This practicum was conducted as part of the requirements for the Master of Sustainable Development Practice Program, with funding from the Center for Latin American Studies, the Tropical Conservation and Development Program, and Polk County. My committee members are Dr. Timothy Townsend and Mr. Stephen Locks from the College of Engineering, and the other two team members on the project were Alexis Lipovich and Marley Wasserman. Polk County is located in central Florida. Like much of Florida, Polk County has experienced high population growth over the last 10 years, with an 18.8% population change from 2010 to 2020. Like most counties, Polk County is divided into incorporated and unincorporated zones. Incorporated zones are those within the boundaries of a city, town, or village, otherwise known as municipalities, as shown on this map by the gray areas. Unincorporated county includes all other land within county boundaries but outside of municipality boundaries, represented on this map by the yellow areas. The Polk County Waste and Recycling Division, which I will call the Division from now on, is responsible for providing waste services to those residents living in unincorporated Polk County, which includes about 145,000 parcels, or households. In 2019, the division collected over 1.3 million tons of waste. Most government entities have chosen to privatize their waste collection services. Polk County is no exception and contracts with Fomento de Construcciones y Contratas, or FCC, and Advanced Disposal Services, or ADS. FCC and ADS, which I will call the haulers from now on, are expected to provide waste services in a timely and professional manner. Because waste collection is performed by humans, it is never 100% perfect. For example, a hauler vehicle may accidentally skip a house when performing waste collection services or may leave behind litter. Written into the contracts of the haulers are the performance criteria, whereby errors are expected to be minimal and addressed within a certain time frame. There are financial incentives to perform well. When unincorporated Polk County residents have concerns about their waste services, they may contact either the hauler assigned to their house or the division. Though residents can voice their concern in person or through either mail or email, the traditional method has been to call the division and talk to a customer service agent located at the division's office. Under special circumstances, concerns tend to increase. For example, you can see in this graph of calls received by the division between July 2017 and August 2020 that there was a spike in late 2017. This spike represents the convergence of three major events: when new recycling carts were being distributed to the residents, new haulers were being contracted, and Hurricane Irma hit Florida, causing millions of dollars of damage to Polk County and creating an enormous amount of hurricane debris to clean. In October 2017, Polk County unveiled a new way for residents to voice their concerns. They contracted with a company called QSend that makes an online service request platform called QAlert. QAlert is both a way for residents to use their computer, tablet, or phone to submit a service request, as well as a tool for accountability and transparency. This is because there is an internal interface where submitted requests can be seen by both the hauler and the division in real time. Any comments or actions made by customer service agents from either the hauler or the division will be time-stamped and able to be seen by both parties. When the issue has been addressed, the service request is closed by one of the agents. This system makes it easier for both the hauler and the division to determine whether the performance criteria from the contracts are being met. I will now walk you through the various components of the resident interface of the online QAlert request for service form. The first tab is the Location tab, where residents enter where the issue occurred. The second tab is the Details tab, where residents choose what type of issue occurred, called the service type, and input other details about the incident. When residents choose the service type, a prompt will appear with educational information about that particular service type. The final tab is the Contact Info tab, where residents input their contact information so that the division may reach out to them if further information is needed or to inform them of their service request status. Just as waste concerns spiked with Hurricane Irma, so did they drastically increase with the arrival of the SARS-CoV-2 outbreak. With many residents not leaving their homes due to the April 2020 stay-at-home order, an increase in residential waste and, subsequently, service requests occurred. You can see the jump from March 2020 to April 2020 in this graph of online requests submitted. The division has been concerned from anecdotal evidence that the time required to process online service requests is higher than the time required to process other service requests, such as call center requests. QAlert, however, has no way to measure the processing time of online service requests. Therefore, Polk County reached out to UF for assistance in measuring the online processing times of the agents, identifying key issues that could be slowing down processing, suggesting and enacting changes to the QAlert request for service form, and finally, measuring the processing times again to understand if the changes resulted in a decrease in the times. This diagram shows the different tasks in yellow utilized in order to achieve the main objectives, which were improving website efficiency and decreasing agents' processing times. The overarching goal of the project was better preparedness for managing residents' concerns during emergencies. The methods used in order to achieve the objectives and overarching goal are the following. We devised a time tracking tool that could be used by the agents to measure the processing time of each service request. We then used the internal QAlert system to identify key features about each request made during the time tracking periods to understand trends and identify issues that may be slowing down the times. The agents graciously allowed us to shadow them while they worked so that we could better understand the process from their perspective. We also systematically researched the websites of each municipality and county in Florida to understand what features other government entities may be using. We consulted QSend to ascertain what changes could be made to the system, and with Polk County's permission, we enacted the changes that we understood would be beneficial. We then measured the average processing time after the changes had been made. We unfortunately don't have time in this presentation to explore all the results, but I will introduce a few of them. During the first 2-week time tracking period, the agents were able to measure 335 service request processing times. The average processing time of these 335 data points was 1 minute and 59 seconds. Because the agents kept track of each service request ID, we were able to go into the QAlert internal system and obtain information about each data point, such as the service type, shown here on the graph. The agents also wrote down if there was a processing issue. In this way, we were able to identify the service requests that required longer processing times and identify key issues. Some of the key issues that we identified that were negatively affecting the processing times include address conflicts, issues with the mobile application interface, incorrect service type, incomplete information, duplicate or off-topic service requests, and differences in agent processing style. For the sake of time, I won't be able to give a full explanation of each, but you are welcome to read the final report for more detailed information. The graph shows that a few select issues can drastically affect the processing times. The light blue bar on the right represents the average processing time of 1 minute and 59 seconds. The dark blue bar shows that the average processing time of those service requests with no errors was 1 minute and 36 seconds. This increased to 2 minutes and 26 seconds when the incorrect service type was selected, 4 minutes and 1 second with an address conflict, and 5 minutes and 25 seconds when both errors occurred. Using the information obtained during the time tracking period, we made a list of suggested changes. We then communicated with both QSend to see which modifications were feasible, as well as the division for approval. We then changed the following. We added more service types, we changed the titles of the service types to be more specific, we added more educational information to the prompts, and we made certain fields required. We then had the agents track their processing times during a second time period. This time we were able to obtain 226 data points with an average processing time of 1 minute and 49 seconds, which is a 10-second reduction in the average processing times. This graph shows the data points collected during the second time tracking period. We hypothesized that the 10-second reduction was due mainly to the addition of more specific service types, the additional educational information which lowered the amount of duplicate or off-topic requests, and also making more fields required so that residents could not omit vital information. Some final recommendations to the division include contacting QSend periodically to see if additional modifications are possible, conducting consistent and regular training with the agents to identify key issues and how they can be fixed, and having an agent staff full-time on online service requests. Thank you to everyone listed on this slide, and thank you to you for watching this poster presentation.